evil.
I
just watched your episode last night. You're evil.
And actually, I'll be we were just talking about embarrassing moments. A couple of years ago, I interviewed you at WonderCon.
Oh.
And
did I do something embarrassing?
No, I did, because I'm interviewing you, and I had no idea who you were. And then it's like a couple of days later, I watch Buffy and all this other stuff. I'm like, if I knew that, then interview would have went totally different. So,
I've done way more embarrassing stuff.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying this character?
I mean, it's such a treat to get to play. I mean, when I got the episode last year and got to see 13, which was Root Cause, that I wasn't actually in, but the character was in, it was kind of fun to get to come into a character that actually had already been established, and, you know, I saw, like, what her motives were, just from, like, an outside point of view, and then stepping into the role.
Were you actually in those shots when they did the shadows?
No, that wasn't me. So I just came in.
That would have been
for
very
the
precious
family.
casting. That would have been uncanny.
Yeah, it was funny because I cut my hair. You know, I've had long hair forever, and I cut it right probably a week before they called and said, "Can you play the girl with the long brown hair?" And I was like, "Yes."
So is it more fun to play sort of a evil? I guess Rude is evil. I bet Rude doesn't think she's evil.
You know, I think as an actor, it's been a great role. And what was so exciting for me about the first episode was just that I love having that sort of flip where you thought that I was in trouble and that they were coming to rescue me, and then getting to turn and shoot someone in the head. I mean, it's great.
You seem to enjoy it too much.
Because you started out as such a nice... Fred was so nice.
Yes. So I always think that those characters are really fun to play, where you get to sort of just flip things on their head. And when I got the episodes this season, because after I left, they were like, we don't quite know what Root's going to turn out to be next year. And I was like, wow, what's going to happen? And, you know, and just getting these chunks of dialogue that she's just lecturing Finch forever about computers and the world, and I was like, I'm sorry, Michael, you hate listening to me talk. I just felt like I was just talking at him for hours, but it was it's just a really fun character, and getting to be with him and act opposite both him and Jeff. It was a real treat.
And the weird thing about your career is like I said, at the time I interviewed you, I didn't know who you were, but the minute I left and I was like, oh my God. Your career is like in this weird mix where you're like this real famous, like, geek icon. How did that happen? And what's that like being like in that bubble?
You know, I think of that as kind of a lucky thing in a way, because I feel like I've gotten to play such different and interesting roles, and a lot of it has come just from getting my start on Angel. And I mean, Joss has been extremely great to me and cast me in so many wonderful roles and projects, and, you know, if he doesn't have someone for a part, he'll call me and say, hey, this starts tomorrow, can you do this? I've been really blessed to have him as sort of a mentor and a friend. And then from that, a lot of the writers who were on Angel have gone on. Everyone was so talented. They've all gone on to do their own thing. So, you know, getting to do a little thing on Once Upon a Time because of Jane, and getting to be on Grimm because of David Greenwald. It's just like
because you're
all
like
of
everywhere.
My friends.
You're everywhere.
It's been nice because they, you know, I think they are also talented, and the fact that they've asked me to keep working with them has been really exciting.
The company you keep clearly professionally is sci-fi, fantasy-based. Are you drawn as a fan to those kinds of shows? Do you watch those kinds of shows, or?
I mean, I do.
Are you watching
I like the
more,
ones that are well written, and I think Person of Interest is that, and I think Once Upon a Time is that. I mean, I like watching those shows where they have great characters, and it's kind of like, I mean, this less so than Once Upon a Time, but it's like an escapist sort of feeling. But I feel like as an audience member, where the characters are so rich and you get to do such exciting things, and the stories can go in so many different directions as opposed to like a real procedural where you can watch an episode from season 1 and season 7 and it doesn't matter. Like your character, for instance, on Angel, starting out in a cave in an alternate dimension and ending up as a demon goddess. I would have never seen that coming, but it's such.
And you
an
never get to say
exciting
sentences
thing.
like that too.
That's the thing. You seem to enjoy it. You brought up the angel thing. I remember sitting there amazed. It's a real compliment to you because you fell down as Fred and you got up as Illyria, and it was just, I got that right, the name?
Yes.
And you got up as Illyria, and it was completely different. And I was so shocked that you could do that. You could hit get up and hi, I'm somebody new. On this show too, you seem to granted it's not as drastic a change, but to go from that, like, hi, I'm just this is
I mean, that's the fun part about acting to me, is getting to do that and getting, even from show to show. I mean, like I said, going from Once Upon a Time to this, where I was like a pink, clumsy fairy, and then getting to shoot someone in the head. That's the great thing about being an actor.
And the great thing about the type of roles you pick, and maybe you can talk a little bit about what your thought processes are, is every role you pick, you don't pigeonhole yourself in. So it's like your personality is like the sweet, innocent, happy, bubbly person, but you play some really dark characters too.
Then I don't have to take it out on my husband.
Do you purposely seek those roles out, and how do you kind of bring that out of yourself?
I've just been sort of, where I'm like, what kind of roles do you want to play? And I feel so lucky that I played like crazy, nerdy, scary, all of this in it. And Much Ado That Joss did is coming out in the spring, and I'm like, this is like the first time I'm kind of like just playing like a normal girl.
I don't know that she's that normal.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I was going to bring that up because I saw it in Toronto, and it was delightful.
Thank you.
And so, I mean, how is that, kind of going from the television milieu, and then suddenly you're doing a movie, and as I understand it, it was kind of like, well, because it was in indie, and you're kind of like trying to fit it in,
Yeah.
but it's also Shakespeare, right? It's like you're kind of running the gamut. What are the things what are you finding that you are being pulled back to do again?
I mean, that experience was just so special. I mean, not many people have friends who can, first of all, decide 2 weeks before, like, I'm going to shoot a movie at my house with all my friends, and then it gets into the Toronto Film Festival. I mean, it was a really unique experience, but that is kind of coming full circle. The first job I had out of college was Much Ado About Nothing, and I played hero at a theater company in Wisconsin. It all kind of comes back around, and I think the thing that I'm excited to do from that is that I really liked, people don't think of Angel or the show as being comedies, but I think all of these shows are
Angel
really funny.
Angel was hysterical at times.
This show's pretty funny too.
This
Caviezel
show is
and his
really
deadpanning
funny.
is funny.
It's so funny. And
I think we have to wrap up. But one more question about the show is now it seems like your arc is ended for right now. Going on with the season, are you back again? Does your arc pick up more?
I am back. He misses me too.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a love interest with him or something? I felt the
I
connection
think he's
there.
in love with me, don't you?
Of
Against
course,
his
your
will
character
and
would
trust.
think that, wouldn't she?
I think it's meant to be.
Is it right away, or are we waiting?
No, I'll be back. I haven't been back yet, so I'm coming back soon.
Great.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you so much.
don't kill the dog.
Thank you.
Leave the dog alone.
Everyone would really hate me. Don't give them that idea.